there, I have your November Children's Take and Make craft today. We're going to be doing basket weaving, and we do have kits available for curbside pickup. You can come right into the library off the parking lot door and take an immediate left where we keep all of our curbside pickup books, and there's a table with the children's and the teens and the adults Take and Make craft. So you'll have pretty much everything you need in this kit. You'll also need some scissors, a marker of some sort, and maybe some glue. So you'll get a few different colors, a few different little balls of yarn to use. You'll have your plate that we're going to use to make the basket. And then you'll have a template to help you cut your flaps. And then you'll also have a piece of felt and a template to cut your felt circle. So grab a pair of scissors and cut out the template along this dotted line. Okay, now that we have our template cut out, we're going to place it on our plate. Kind of center it right in the middle. Now for this you can use a pencil or you can just use the scissors. It's up to you. But you're going to make a little mark even with each of these lines. And this helps us make 13 flaps that are evenly spaced. So you can do it like that with a pencil, or you can even just go with your scissors and do a quick snip at each of the marks. It's up to you. I'll go ahead and finish this with just cutting the slits. And so this template is, like I said, just to help you get these initial slits cut. Okay, so I have all the slits cut. So I'm going to move the template, and then you'll see there's an inner circle on the plate. This is where we're going to cut to. So these original slits that we cut were just to mark it. Now we're going to take our scissors and cut all the way down to that circle. So you'll see that circle line. I'm going to cut these slits all the way down. So make sure your slits stop right at the circle line, because that circle is what will be the base of our basket. So once you cut it, you'll see that when you fold the flaps up, they're going to overlap, and that's going to make the weaving hard. So we're going to cut some wedges out of there so they don't overlap like this. So now we're going to go around again and cut kind of a wedge out like that. You can decide what side you cut it off of. It doesn't have to be exact. So you'll see my wedges are not perfect, and that is okay. We just want to make those slits bigger, so when you fold those flaps up, they don't overlap as much. Okay, so I got all the way around. Scooch those out of the way. So now you'll see that you can fold them, so you're going to fold each one in right on that circle line. And when they're laying flat, they will still overlap, obviously, but that is okay. We're going to fold them in. Like this. And then when you let them pop back open so they're standing up, you'll see that they don't overlap as much, and that's what you need. Once you do this, if you see that there's still a lot of overlap, if you didn't cut the slits big enough, you can go ahead and do that. But you'll see the basket kind of sets out a bit, so that is pretty good. Okay, to get started, we'll take our first color. You decide. Your kit might have different colors, and that's okay. I'm going to start with this purple. And what I'm going to do is just tie it around one of these flaps. And I'm just going to wrap it around and then tuck it under, and I'm going to tie a knot right here. Okay, so if your knot was tied on the outside like this, all you would do is turn that yarn, kind of twist it around so the knot is on the inside. That way it's not visible when your basket is all done. So then what we're going to do is we're going to weave in and out of each of these flaps. So you'll see we go inside that one, outside this one, inside this one, outside this one. So we're just going to wrap all the way. So as you go, you'll adjust how the flaps stand up, and that's what makes the bowl. So now we're going to, we got to our beginning. Now you'll see we're going to be doing the opposite of what we did the last round. So we'll be going outside this one, inside this one, outside this one. And that way we alternately hit each flap. That's why it's important to have an odd number of flaps. If we have an even number of flaps, I have an example here for you. If we have an even number of flaps, what you're going to be doing is going in and out the same each time, and it would just look like this. So that is why it's important to have an odd number of flaps, so you change up whether the yarn is inside or outside of a flap each round, and you'll do that naturally without even thinking if you do the odd number of flaps. So I'm going to keep going with this. Every once in a while you'll want to push down the yarn, make sure it's even, so once we get more yarn on there, you'll see it might have a gap like that. You just push it down, and even if you just do it every couple rounds, that's fine. So I'm going to keep going on the purple, and then I will show you when we want to switch colors. So again, just keep going on the inside and then the outside. And I reached the end of the purple, so I'm just going to tie a knot. Just like we did around the first flap, we're just going to tie the two colors together, and that way we can just keep weaving in the same pattern we have been weaving in with our new color. So the knot is on the inside there. That's helpful. It makes the outside of the basket look a little cleaner, and then we're just going to keep going, like I said, that same pattern, in and out. Every once in a while, go back, push the yarn down, and you'll see as you wrap it, you don't want to pull too tight. If you pull too tight, it's going to pull these flaps in and make the yarn slide off of it. So pull it tight enough that they kind of start to stand up, and it's not loose hanging off of the flaps. But if you're finding your flaps are folding in or the yarn is slipping off the top of them, you might be pulling too tight, and then just loosen it up a little bit. So we're going to keep going. Okay, so I've kept weaving. You'll see I've changed colors again, and you can change colors as much as you want, even if you want to cut a string. Maybe you still have some of this color left, but you want to start purple. Go ahead and cut it, tie the purple on, and keep going. You can switch back and forth even more than the individual yarn balls that we gave you. It's up to you. But you'll see it's starting to fill up as the flaps stand up more. It starts to get a little trickier. They overlap a little at the top, and that's okay. If you need to cut a little more, you can. Otherwise, just take your time. You'll see that I've pushed the yarn down every once in a while. We'll push it down here. That way you don't see the plate in between. And then like I said, if you pull too tight, it's going to pull the flaps in and the yarn will slide off, but make sure you're pulling it so the flaps at least stand up. That's what gives us the bowl shape. So if your flaps are too out and you want them to stand up more, go ahead and just pull a little tighter. And you're going to keep weaving until you get to maybe about here. You can stop really whenever, but once you get to about here, it gets harder to wrap. It'll start sliding off the top, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to keep weaving till I get to the top, and then I'll show you how to tie it off. Okay, you'll see I'm getting to the top, and it is getting pretty close. I think I might be just about done. I'll do a couple more here. You'll see as you get to the top, it's a little trickier to keep it slid down and not sliding over the top. That's why as you get closer to the top, it does get a little trickier. So I think I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to cut my yarn if I'm not already at the end. You can kind of pull the yarn a little bit, make it the shape you want. And then you're just going to, on the inside of the basket, tuck it through a couple of these strands. Just going to pull it through a couple of those and just tie it around it however is easiest. I'm going to, so I wove it through, I tucked it under these, and then I'm just going to tie it off that way, however works for you. And then pull it tight. Then you can clip any additional leftover. Don't cut it too close to the string, or to the knot, sorry, but cut a little of the extra off, and then you can just tuck them under some of the other yarn pieces, just to tuck them out of the way. I'm just tucking all of these in. And then the only part we have left, so this is finished, the only part that we have left, you can adjust it as you go, is to cut the felt for the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to take the template for our felt circle, and we're going to cut this out along the edge. And I already have one cut out here, so I'm going to lay it right on top of our felt. I'm going to use a marker of any type, or a pen, whatever's dark enough to appear, and I'm just going to trace around it. You can move it and cut your circle out. Okay, and if you have some marker left over, you can always just flip it over and use it this way. So you can either just push it down right in the center, or you can glue it down, however you want to do it. So you can add just a little bit of liquid glue right here, or some glue stick, and just put it right in the center. If you want it to fit a little smaller, you can trim a little more off, or you can, if you'd rather, you can glue it to the bottom if you want the bottom to have the felt. So it's up to you, we'll let you decide. But either way, this would be a great gift if you want to finish this up and wrap it up and put it away for a holiday gift for someone, or you can display it somewhere. So you can decide. We hope you had fun with this craft. If you made it, please feel free to take a picture and post it as a reply to this video. We'd love to see your baskets, and we hope you had fun with it. See you next time. Bye.